Hi friends, welcome to this practice. We are going to stretch out the hips and the legs as requested for you runners and hikers out there. So let's come straight into practice onto the hands and knees. If you don't have thick mats like me, maybe something underneath the knees for a little support. If you have two blocks, two blocks. Otherwise, just as you are, where you are, moving into cat-cow straight away. And we'll use the movement as time to connect with that deeper breath. In cat-cow, we traditionally inhale as the chest opens, the tailbone lifts. And exhale as we press the earth away and round through the back. One more inhale. And exhale. Let's take it back to a child's pose. We'll hold here for just 3 breaths. Beginning to open out the hips and stretch through the lower back. And we might move a little quickly through this practice for your liking. If you want to hold stretches for longer, pause the video. You're totally in control. Back to tabletop. We inhale, reach the right foot back. Step the foot forward into a low lunge. Back knee on the floor, just allowing the legs to open. So here's a good spot if you do have blocks to bring them into your practice. Take another breath here. And then send the hips back for a half split stretch, stretching out those hamstrings. Lovely. Back thigh over the back knee. Maybe the front foot is flexed. And from here, we're going to take a little back and forth. Inhale, lower back to a lunge. And exhale, stretch through that hamstring. A couple more in your own time, finding a breath pattern that works for you. It's a little, I was going to say dynamite to our stretch, dynamic to our dynamism to our stretch. There's something going on. And back to a half split from here. Bring the knees in line. Move the blocks to one side. Take a breath in as we come to a modified plank pose. Shoulders over the wrists and exhale, lower down. Inhale, lift the heart. And exhale back to a child's pose. Breath here. And back to the hands and knees, tabletop. Reach the left leg back. Step the foot forward to the hands. And coming to a low lunge on this side, again with or without blocks. Just allowing the hips to open. Send it back. It being your body, send it back, your body back. And stretching out this front leg, a couple of breaths. And if moving back and forth just isn't the one for you, maybe just hold a lunge again for a few breaths and the half split again for a few breaths. Otherwise, moving back and forth. And so I'm building a little strength into the joints as we mobilize them and stretch through the muscles. One more. And bring the knees in line. And inhale, coming to your modified plank pose. Exhale, lower down. Inhale, back bend, and exhale. This time, downward facing dog. We're going to use this pose to stretch through the backs of the calves especially. So lower the heel and bend one leg. So if the left heel is down, the right leg is bent. And then swapping over, stretching through the backs of the legs, one at a time. Bonus shoulder opener and core strength here. One more inhale. And exhale, lowering down onto the knees. Turn the toes under and coming into a squat. Our legs are parallel. Squeeze the thighs together here. Fingers can be on the floor or take a balance. Wherever you are, find your focus. Keeping the eyes steady really helps to steady the mind. Lovely. Coming again onto the hands and knees. We'll take a pigeon here with the right knee coming behind the right wrist. And so if swan or half pigeon isn't in your practice and you're not sure, I want you to pause. I'm going to show you a different variation. And you can do pigeon when there's more time for it to be explained. And so finding that sweet spot, we're looking to have the pelvis as even as it can be and maybe lowering to the ground. And so other variations instead of pigeon. So if you're in pigeon, stay where you are. And a variation would be a little zigzag shape with the legs. And then we're going to bring the body over. So very similar, right? The front of the pose is pretty much the same, just the back leg is doing something different. And if leaning over the leg just isn't for you, of course, I'll show you the other variation while we're here. Would be the foot over the thigh. We're looking to stretch out the outer hip, right? So wherever you are, take another couple of breaths. And if you're in half pigeon or the other variation where you're folding forward, lift the heart and make your way back to hands and knees. And a nice way to do this from being in the half pigeon is to bring the weight into the back foot and the hands and then unraveling that way. That gives the hip a bit of a break. And let's take a vinyasa for fun. Inhale, we're in a modified plank here, or even a tabletop if that's better for you. Just lower down on your exhale. Inhale, lift the heart, and exhale, send it back, child's pose or downward facing dog. It's just nice to get the pelvis moving in between sides, but guess what? We got another stretch before we come to our pigeon on the other side. We're going to turn the toes under and we're going to stretch the soles of the feet, which is just so beautiful. It can be quite intense, so take your time. You might want to use the hands to really spread the toes apart. And then just take a moment here. The options would be keeping the hands on the floor or maybe bringing them a little closer so you've got more weight over the feet for a sort of more intense stretch, or lifting the head up over the hips and pausing here. This variation is too intense for me, so I like to keep my hands on the ground. Wherever you are, take just another couple of big, beautiful breaths. And then lowering the hands down, releasing the feet. And maybe take a stretch for the tops of the feet just to counter that for a moment. by bringing the weight back. Let's come to our hip stretch on the other side. We're nearly there. Lovely short practice, post-run, post-hike, or just when you need to get your legs moving. Let's bring the left knee behind the left wrist if you're doing the more traditional half pigeon pose. And again, just working all the time to keep the hips level as much as you can so we get the stretch right into that front outer hip. You can also prop this up, placing a block under the hip if the hips are a little out of balance. And lowering down into your stretch if that's where you are. Be quiet, Bruce. We're nearly there. Good job, Bruce. If you're in what we call deer pose, then just again, you've got that zigzag and the body over. So wherever you are, let's take another few big breaths. And then lifting the heart and bringing the weight. If you're in half pigeon, you're going to bring the weight into the hands and the back foot. And unravel gently. And maybe one more little relaxing, releasing vinyasa. Opening and then letting go back into a child's pose. And now, my darling friends, hold your child's pose for as many breaths as you wish. You can be here for 5 minutes if you wanted to, even longer. And then lay down on your back for Shavasana, even if it's just for 2 or 3 breaths. And I will leave you here, my friends. Take care. Bye.